And yeah, krautrock. I can't say enough good things about krautrock. Like you said, it's a big field. It's almost it's almost a label that does it disservice because it contains so many genres and between krautrock and rock and opposition, like those two genres, I think are just like I can live in them forever, because everything's there.
What's rock in opposition? Tell me that. Tell me, I don't know what that is.
So rock in opposition, I think was started. I don't know if it was coined by a magazine guy or a musician, but it was in relation to I think Henry Cow. Henry Cow and I'm pretty sure Henry Cow was like the leader of the rock and opposition movement. But like Art Zoid is in that list. Universe Zero. But like like these bands that have like that krautrock feel, like Magma and this kind of stuff, and and they had this feeling or this paranoid idea that the record labels were intentionally keeping them down because their music was just too far out there for people to enjoy. So they felt like their music was being made in opposition to the music industry. So they coined this idea that their music, they were rocking in opposition, and almost like it was subversive. And so they started a music festival called the Rock and Opposition Music Festival or something like that, where all these bands would play. And apparently, I think it still goes on. I think it still goes on. It goes on until today, or it's intermittently does. But it's because of the nature of it, it's not like a well-known thing, right? Because that was their whole thing, is that no one gives a shit about them.
Oh, now I'm looking at the Wikipedia page here. I'm sorry, I'm not fact checking you. I'm just curious.
Oh, that's good. I'm going there too because I want to be able to speak with more knowing. Because
this is weird because I know about Henry Cow and I know about Chris Cutler and I know about Recommended Records because one of my friends went to work for Recommended Records, so I knew about that. But whether I once knew about rock in opposition or whether I never knew about it, I can no longer tell. But I'm reading here about it, and that's weird because it's right in that zone where I should know about it, because the first festival was 1978, which is that's maybe a bit early for me. I was only 18 then, so I maybe wasn't catching it. Yeah, maybe I wasn't catching it just then. But I got into Henry Cow later. I retrospectively caught up with Henry Cow, so maybe I didn't get it. That's probably why. But that's interesting. You see, I got most of my musical taste and my musical interest came from BBC Radio 1 through Alan Freeman, who used to play the more commercial side of progressive rock, and John Peel, who used to play the experimental side of it. So between them, I would get it. If there was music that was going on that wasn't played in either of those places, I wouldn't catch it. So that's probably why I didn't know about this. But that's really interesting. So they were feeling oppressed by the industry back then. Wow.
Yeah. So that's, which I think is, and it's funny because like when I first started listening to rock and opposition music, like as labeled that way, I remember thinking like, of course, like, are you guys crazy? Like you actually thought people would like this music? But then I started liking it. And it became, at one point there for about a month or two period, if it wasn't a Rio band, I wasn't listening to it. Like it had to be a rock and opposition band because it was turning on all these switches in my brain that had never been turned on before.
Yeah.
And like the band, it was funny, Art Zoid, that band from France there, a buddy of mine, his teenage son is obsessed with Art Zoid right now.
Wow.
Because I was, back when I was in Ontario a couple of years ago, I was helping him move. And his son was there helping move too. And his son, him and I made a quick bond because I guess I didn't treat him like most adults would treat a teenager. I was talking to him more like an adult, and asking him questions he's probably never been asked before and bringing up, Yeah. So he was glued to me all day and he kept asking me more and more questions about things. And we're setting up a stereo in the new garage, his dad's new house. And he goes, as we're setting the stereo up, he turns to me, he goes, "What's the weirdest music you know?" I said, "The weirdest music I know? That's a tough thing to answer." I said, "It depends. What do you mean by weird? Like, do you mean weird like spastic, makes no sense weird? Or do you mean weird like..." He's like, "I don't know, just fucking weird, man. Like, show me some weird music." So I said, "Okay." I said, "The weirdest thing I'm listening to right now is this." And I put on some Art Zoid. And I don't think he was prepared. He was like, "I didn't know it could be this weird. Like, I never imagined weird could be this weird." And his dad called me like a month later and is telling me that his son's listening to Art Zoid all the time now. It's like, that's all he listens to. And he sits in his bedroom in complete darkness with just his headphones on, listens to Art Zoid, and talks to his dad about all these thoughts he has and where his brain goes.
Wow.
And his dad's laughing, going like, it's like my kid's doing mushrooms. He hasn't even tried psychedelics yet. You know?
How long ago was this? How long ago did this happen?
This is about 2 years ago, maybe.
Oh, right. So this youngster, how old is that? How old is he now? He's still on that journey, I take it.
Yeah, he's probably 17 or 18. Yeah, so I don't know. I haven't asked if his son still listens to Art Zoid or not, but I really hope he is, or something else like it. Like maybe he's moved on to Henry Cow or Soft Machine or something. You know.
You turned someone on. You turned someone on. You got them. You switched the switch, man.
Exactly. Now Art Zoid's got like 41 subscribers instead of just 40 on YouTube.